I'm going to share something with you that most of you who are watching this video are wrestling with every single day. And I want to start this video off by saying something that most doctors probably won't tell you out loud. And that is, your body is not failing you, nor has it ever tried to fail you. It's actually doing exactly what it was designed to do, and that's the problem. You see, every symptom that you've been told is just aging, from the stiff joints, the brain fog, the swelling, the afternoon crashes after 2 p.m., those aren't malfunctions. That's not your body malfunctioning. Those are signals coming from a system that is being overwhelmed. And the problem is, nobody taught you how to read those signals. See, most of you watching this video are probably doing all the right things. You're exercising daily, you're watching what you eat, you're taking your vitamins and your supplements, but yet you still don't feel the way you wish you did. Why is that? Now, it's not because you're doing all the wrong things. It's because there's an entire system in your body that hardly anybody talks about. And when that system isn't working properly, nothing else you do quite works the way it should. And that system is your lymphatic system. And you may have or may not have heard of the system before, but by the end of this video, you're going to know why that's a problem and what you can do about it. So I want you to imagine your house. Okay, so let's draw this house here. Now imagine your house has two plumbing systems. All right, you have the clean water side. So we'll make the clean here. Clean. All right, clean there. All right, that's bringing the water into the house. And then you have your drain. And that's taking water outside the house. Now, imagine that the drain side hasn't been serviced in 40 years. What happens? Well, all of that sewage and waste gets backed up into the house. And this, unfortunately, is happening inside most of your bodies currently. See, your circulatory system, which is your clean water side, this gets monitored very closely by your doctors. So that's things such as your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your blood sugar levels, your hormones. But the drain side, the lymphatic system, hardly anybody is addressing that. And believe it or not, the lymphatic system carries roughly 3 times the amount of fluid than your blood. I want you to think about that for a second. You have an entire system inside your body that carries roughly 3 times the amount of fluid as your blood, and your doctor isn't even mentioning it to you. That's not a body failure. That's a system failure. So I'm going to give you 3 truths about the lymphatic system. So the first thing is going to be that the lymphatic system has no pump. So unlike your circulatory system, which your heart pumps blood all throughout the body, the lymphatic system doesn't have a pump. So what moves the lymph? You move the lymph. You are the pump. That's why movement is vital. Movement is key. So making sure you're exercising daily or doing some type of movement to help stimulate lymph flow. Another thing is going to be diaphragmatic breathing, and then some other simple habits you can include as well. Now, when you don't do these things and you're not moving, you're living a sedentary lifestyle, what happens? The drainage system backs up. All right, so lymph stops flowing properly. And then in turn, which leads us into the second truth, is when the lymphatic system gets backed up, it backs up everywhere. So what are some signs and symptoms of a backed up lymphatic system? Well, number 1, stiffness in the joints, especially in the morning, swelling around the ankles or even in the joints, right? Brain fog after lunch, puffiness under the eyes, right? Things such as stubborn weight that just won't come off no matter what you try or do. Right? These aren't independent or separate issues. These are the same issues, just wearing a different mask or a different costume. The same thing. And the third truth is the lymphatic system is the easiest system to support, but it's also one of the most ignored. And here's the wild part. Of all the systems in your body, the lymphatic system is probably the one most directly under your control. You don't need any medications. You don't need any prescriptions. All you need to know and understand is what moves the lymph and what blocks it. That's it. So I want to share a story with you all. I've shared it before in other videos, but I had a client I worked with not too long ago. She came to me because her medical doctor told her that her cholesterol levels were at the point where she would likely need medication. Now, she was adamant she did not want to get on any type of medication. But what she really wanted to know is why this was happening to her and what she could do about it, preferably naturally. So we sat down, we looked at her full picture, devised a plan for her lifestyle, her nutrition, found out what vitamins, minerals, and herbs her body was lacking in and needed. And in 90 days, her cholesterol went from likely needing medication to almost optimal levels, all done without any prescription medication. And she also told me that she lost 20 pounds in the process, which she was thrilled about. And she also told me that she had more energy than she's experienced in years. But what stuck with me the most, and it sticks with me to this day, is she told me that these changes that she's experienced has made a tremendous difference in her daily life. I share this story not to show that she's some type of anomaly, but I wanted to share this to show you what can happen when you start or stop addressing the symptom and start looking at the system. So I'm going to give you 3 things that you can start implementing into your daily routine to help stimulate lymphatic movement. So the first thing is going to be either dry brushing or manual self massages. So if you're doing dry brushing, and you could get a dry brush off Amazon or at the drugstore, they're cheap, they're not expensive. But when you dry brush, you're going to brush everything towards the kidneys because your kidneys are an eliminative organ. So you want to brush all lymph towards the kidneys to be eliminated. And the reason we want to dry brush if we can is because you have lymph that sits directly under the skin. So this helps stimulate lymphatic movement. The second thing is going to be, if you don't want to do dry brushing, is going to be self massages. And that is making sure that we are massaging along the neck here. We're going to get on the clavicles here as well. And then we want to get in the axilla area here as well, especially females, because we have a lot of lymph vessels and lymph tissue in that breast tissue that we want to make sure that that lymph is moving and is not being stagnant in that breast tissue. So you can do that 60 seconds each area there to help stimulate lymph movement. And we can do the same thing with the legs as well. Second thing is going to be deep diaphragmatic breathing. We mentioned this earlier. So when it comes to deep diaphragmatic breathing, this is going to act almost as an internal pump for the lymphatic system. So I know I mentioned earlier there is no pump, but by you doing deep diaphragmatic breathing, it almost acts as an internal pump for the lymphatic system. So I'm going to recommend every time you sit down somewhere, before you have any coffee, before you lay down, take 5 deep diaphragmatic breaths. And what I mean by diaphragmatic breaths is breathing from your abdomen, not from your chest. So most of us are shallow breathers, so we breathe from our chest, which doesn't help not only move oxygen around the body, but it doesn't help stimulate lymphatic movement. So we want to make sure we're breathing from the diaphragm and not from the chest. And what I'm going to recommend is take a 5-second inhalation and then exhale for 5 seconds as well. And you're going to do that 5 times. And again, this will help stimulate lymphatic movement throughout the body. And the third thing is going to be hydration. Can't stress this enough. Hydration is key to lymphatic movement. Just like we mentioned earlier, 3 times the amount of fluid is in the lymph vessels as opposed to the cardiovascular system. So we want to make sure we're getting good amounts of water every single day. So at least 60 ounces of water a day. But what I really want to hone in on is making sure that you are consuming water first thing in the morning before anything. So something that I like to recommend to people is a warm glass of water, about 10 to 12 ounces, to take a little lemon, Squeeze that in there, and you can do a pinch of sea salt as well. And this not only will hydrate you and give you some electrolytes, but it also will help stimulate the lymphatic system. And the second part to the hydration is going to be not only drinking, but eating more hydrating foods. What do I mean by that? Most people are eating a dehydrating diet. So you're eating a lot of processed foods, you're eating a lot of grains, you're eating a lot of meats, you're eating a lot of dairy. All of these foods are dehydrating. They don't hydrate you. Things that hydrate you are going to be your fruits and vegetables. So increase the amount of fruits and vegetables you're consuming, specifically in the morning, to really stimulate hydration, but also lymphatic movement. So these are the 3 things that you can start implementing into your daily routine as soon as tomorrow. They take 5 minutes, and for most of you, it'll move the needle significantly. Now, obviously, if you're dealing with more complicated things, this isn't the end all be all. There's deeper work that needs to be addressed and done, but everybody can start with these 3 simple things. So I started this video by saying your body hasn't failed you. I want to end it by keeping the same idea, but supporting it with something a little bit stronger. See, your body has been doing what it's designed to do for millions of years, trying to take care of you. Yes, I understand the times have changed, the environments have changed, food has changed, water quality has changed, air quality has changed, heck, even the amount of sitting we do has changed, right? But what hasn't changed is your body's ability to take care of you. We just have to understand and realize that our bodies need the support that it was designed for. And when we give it that support, it can do what it was designed to do. And that's to keep you as healthy as it can for as long as it can. So thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to the channel, give it a like, and share it with someone who is dealing with something or can utilize or benefit from this information. Catch you in the next video.